The Penguins start the playoffs Thursday night at Madison Square Garden. Joining me now is the two-time scoring champ, two-time MVP, Penguins captain, and it says here, 2002 Midget AAA Canadian National Championships MVP and top scorer. He is Sidney Crosby. Hey, I was going through your awards, and man, you must have ripped it apart back in 2002. And your team was sponsored by Subway, just like this show. That's pretty cool.
It was a great run that year. The Dartmouth Subways. We went to the finals, lost. I remember to the team Tisdale, Saskatchewan. But that was a fun year.
Well, let's look at this year. Let's see how fun it gets in the postseason. And this will be the first series, Sid, where the Penguins have been an underdog since the 2009 final. What's that feel like? Is it almost refreshing in a way?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think that it's definitely new territory for us. But that being said, to start on the road, to kind of have that adversity down the stretch a bit. Wins didn't come easy to us, but I thought we played hard, and it's kind of a different setup. With years past, we were just trying to kind of get through the end of the year, and this year we had to play right to the end, and hopefully, having to play that way towards the end can kind of help us get a good start here right off the bat in New York.
Now, people say that the pressure is off with you guys, but I bet you'd say different. It's just a different kind of pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, it's different. I think there's always pressure. There's always expectations, and the fact that we're the underdog doesn't change our expectation in the room, and we want to find a way to move on. So, we know their team, they had a great regular season, but if anything, we can kind of relate to be in that position as well, and we want to make sure we get a good start, like I said.
What went wrong the last however many weeks, Sid? And more to the point, why do the Penguins have trouble scoring right now?
Well, I think as far as the end of the year, I think, just injuries, you keep getting injuries like that. You replace somebody and you finally get settled in lines, and then someone else gets hurt, you replace him, and, there's new line combinations. And it's not easy to really kind of get your identity as a team and make sure everyone's clear and understanding of what their role is, and as everyone, tries their best to kind of fill in. Sometimes it's difficult to consistently have to do that. So we managed it great. I really think that the attitude was good, and although the results weren't there, I thought everyone just stayed pretty calm, and we found a way to get ourselves into the playoffs. It's not easy. There's a lot of good teams that aren't in the playoffs today, so we found a way to get in through all that. And as far as scoring goes, I think it's down in general, but I think that as you get close to the playoffs, you can see that it becomes more of a playoff-style game, and you really have to work to get to the front. There's not as many things like that either.
Well, no power plays in Buffalo, but we'll get to that in just a second. Staying with the injury thing for a moment, how much do you guys miss Tanger? I know nobody wants to make excuses, but the way he moves the puck and can skate it up, that's one guy you just can't replace.
Yeah, he plays 30 minutes a game. He plays half the game. He's out there on the ice, and he works both ends of the ice. He's playing against top guys, but at the same time, he's out there creating offense too, joining the rush, and sometimes he's beating forwards up the ice. So yeah, he's a tough guy to replace, and kind of collectively as a group, we have to find ways to kind of make up for it. But playing with 5D as long as we did, and having those guys hold it back there and find ways to do a good job. That's not easy on back-to-back nights with games that were as big as they were. So they deserve a lot of credit. It's not easy to replace Tanger, but the guys coming in have found a way.
Now, you mentioned the lack of power plays. It's got to be tough for you and for you guys the way the game is called. Now, I know you're going to say they call it the same for everyone, but there's not much room out there, is there?
No, there's not a lot of time and space, that's for sure. That's kind of the great thing about, when you do get on the man advantage, is getting that little bit of extra time and space is nice to have to try to create a play or make something happen. But definitely 5-on-5, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of room, and it's true. I think league wide, that's something that you saw this year with every team, and Power plays, I think, are probably down in general, and I think as a result, scoring's down in general. But I think that that's just something you have to deal with. If anything, hopefully that helps kind of transition into the playoffs. I don't think that it'll be much different in the playoffs. Usually it's even better. So, we'll see what happens. But when you do get those power plays, you got to make them count.
Now, is that frustrating for you personally? Sid, you're the league's poster boy, but it seems like the league's taken hockey in the opposite direction from the way you prefer to play.
Well, I mean, there's not much you can do. I mean, obviously, you love to have time and space, and if you went and talked to a defenseman or a goaltender, they'd tell you something maybe completely different. They probably love the way it is now, and with things being tighter, it's a little bit easier for them. So, I mean, everyone has their own opinion, and I think I'd be lying if I said that I don't mind having a little bit of space. I think it's nice, but I think that it's just important to find ways right now. I mean, if it's like that for everyone, you got to find a way. But more space and the more time to make plays obviously makes it a lot more fun.
Talk about Patrick Hornquist. What has that fit been like, him playing on your line?
That's been good. I mean, you know where he's going. He spends a lot of time in front of the net, and he's in on the puck. He's creating loose pucks, and like I said, just going to the front of the net and finding ways to get rebounds or tips or draw attention that way. So, I think we've gotten more used to each other as the years gone on here, and hopefully we'll continue. But I think that just the way he plays is pretty predictable, and every night the type of effort and the way he's going to compete.
We're talking to Sidney Crosby here on the home of the Penguins, 105.9 The X. Sid, I got a suggestion for the power play. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Stay down low on the power play. You're the best near the paint, behind the net. You clean up down low. I want you down low in this series. What do you think?
Oh, that's where the goals are scored for sure. I know what you're saying. I think that there's a time to kind of be down there, and when the puck moves a little and there's some open space down by the net, you want to find it. But it's sometimes the way teams play too. So a little bit more, they stay tighter than the goal. It really depends on the team, like that kind of thing. But there's no question that's where the goals are going to be scored. And obviously, I'm comfortable there. I've played kind of different spots in the power play, but mostly down low or on the half wall. So there's kind of pros and cons. But I mean that's where the goals are ultimately going to be scored. So you got to find a way to eventually make your point.
Now, the last 6 weeks or so, it seems like you've been playing in traffic, getting down low a lot more. Is that by way of kind of getting ready for the playoffs? Because like you said, it's necessary to do that this time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the way the game kind of, the game eventually kind of moves towards that area just because, off the rush, teams are so conscious defensively and they have their guys high protecting anything off the rush. So if you really want to create anything, most times this time of year it's going to be from, in zone and beating a guy down low or getting a point shot and finding ways to get to the net. So I think, you think about what you have to do to create, and, if the game kind of dictates that it's there, then you've got to find a way to create. So I think it's just kind of found a way to be there just based on how teams are playing, pretty tight and not giving a lot of time and space. So if you want the puck, you got to go get it and outwork some guys to get to the net.
Making the playoffs and his shutout Saturday, that seemed appropriate.
Yeah, definitely. He's been just rock solid all year. There wasn't any time where, his game dropped. He just was so consistent, especially with the injuries we've been through. There were some nights where he probably saw a little bit more than he probably needed. And it's nice to see him get all those shutouts for a long time there. He was having incredible games, and they'd find some way to get a cheap one late or off a skate or, a bad bounce, something like that. So to finally see all those shutouts kind of accumulate was nice too.
Now you're going to have guys like Chorney and maybe Dumoulin or Harrington in the lineup for Game 1. What do you do, and what does the dressing room do to try and take the pressure off young guys like that?
I think just communicate. I think, the coaching staff will be pretty clear what they expect, from each guy, and as well our team. So they have time here. It's not like they're throwing in day of. They can spend a few days here getting ready with us, which is good. With Chorns, he's got some NHL experience, so I think he's pretty comfortable with everything, and he's been here for so too. With the week we had prior to the end of the season, it was basically playoff type of hockey then, so I think that helps him. And then with Dumo and Harry, those you just try to make them feel comfortable and communicate as far as what to expect, and other than that, the just feel good and confident going in.
You're playing the Rangers. You played them last year. There's really no secrets when you go up against them, is there?
No, I mean they're a deep team. A lot of depth. Their blue line's really solid. If you look at who they added, they've really made sure they're strong in each area. But that being said, I think with both teams knowing each other pretty well, hopefully that's something we can use to our advantage as well. And it's all momentum, and it doesn't take long to shift it in your favor. So as much as we're the underdog, starting on the road and having played some of the important games we stretch, I think that's something that we can definitely use to our advantage.
How do you deal with the Rangers' speed, Sid? Because ordinarily, when you guys have your complete lineup, you don't mind matching speed for speed, but right now I'm not so sure that would be the best approach.
Yeah, we're going to have to be smart. I mean, we can't feed their offense. So, I mean, like you said, they have some guys who can skate and create a lot. They're going to do that. I mean, as much as you pay attention to guys, they are going to get their chance. When they do, you make sure they don't get opportunities. And on the flip side, you try those by not feeding and not turning forward at the blue line. Really hard plays, just doing things that where you're not hurting yourself. You're not giving them free chances or free opportunities. So in the playoffs, that's the most important thing. If they're going to get their chances, you have to make sure that they earn them. And if you're able to get some sustained pressure down in their end and make them come 200 feet to create a chance, then make I think the biggest thing will be just not feeding their offense, making sure that a long way to get their chances.
Sid, in my observation of you for going on 10 years now, everything you do funnels into hockey. It's always been by far your highest priority. I'm sure it's still number one, but is that changing at all? Is anything kind of taking the edge off as far as the 24/7 dedication to hockey?
Trying to think. I don't know. I love it. It's not. It doesn't feel like it's a big burden, or there are times where it's definitely a challenge, and there's some things that come with it. But I don't think that's very easy to change, and you have to love it. And I definitely do. I don't know if there's anything new. I took a course this year. That was something new I did.
So. Okay, stay with that. What was that in?
I took a history course. So
history of what?
World War II history.
Oh, man, you got the World War II obsession now, I bet, right?
I wouldn't say obsession. I was pretty interested in it. And my mom had always told me she wanted me to try to take a course. So I just, our schedule was pretty light there for a couple months. So I just did an online course. That was something to switch it up. But I won't be enrolling anywhere anytime soon. Let's put it that way.
Well, did you get to the part where we won?
Part, yeah.
Hey, stay. Oh, you know what? I heard a rumor about you, by the way.
Oh, what's this?
Did you change the curve on your stick?
I didn't. That's a rumor.
That's a false rumor.
Yeah.
When's the last time you adjusted something like that? Like the curve on your stick, the way you tape your stick, your pregame ritual. When was the last time anything changed even a little bit?
Yeah. Probably 2010, when I went to a one-piece, and then I used a little bit more curve that year. So before then, I was using a graphite stick with a wood blade, and then I went to a one-piece. It took me a while to change over. Most guys had kind of shifted to a one-piece stick by that point, but other than that, I keep everything pretty much the same. I'm a little worried. We have that practice rink next year, and I'm not sure what the gear situation is going to be. There might be 2 sets I'm hearing, so I'm going to have to figure something out.
Oh, for the love of God, how could they do something like that to you?
I don't know. It's going to be tough, but I'll have to figure it out somehow.
What's the last movie you saw and the last song you downloaded on your iPod? That's what the kids do, right? You got iPods. That's what I've been told anyway.
Yeah. The last movie I watched, I want to say was Unbroken.
What? I don't even know what that's about. Who's in that?
I don't know who's in it. It's based on the book. And, you know what it was? I watched American Sniper after that, I think.
Oh, what'd you think of American Sniper?
It was a good movie.
Very intense.
Yeah. I read the book, too, so both those movies, the last 2 I saw, I read the books, and then I downloaded. It was an old one. Somebody was playing it. I have to...
Man, you struggle with pop culture. You know it?
I'm terrible.
World War II, you're fine.
Names.
But the pop culture thing.
Honestly, I hear a good song, and I'll ask this song because I get it. They tell me it, and then I ended up texting Duper. This is honest truth. I texted Duper yesterday to get the song because I forgot. He told me 2 or 3 times, and I forgot. So, and now he texted me, and I still can't tell you what it is. So
well, we'll catch up on that later. You know, something you'd enjoy. Have you seen the HBO Scientology documentary?
I don't know if I need to see that.
Yeah, I'm worried you might join.
No, I'm not. No, I don't think you have to worry about that.
That's an obsessive group, Sid. You'd fit right in. I'm telling you, they'd like you and Tom Cruise.
No, I heard enough about that. I don't need to see it.
Sid, good stuff. As always, I appreciate you taking the time, especially right before the playoffs, and we'll see you real soon. Good luck against the Rangers.
All right, thanks a lot. See you later.
That is Sidney Crosby, who, phone cutting in and out a little bit, but I love when he has to talk about stuff besides hockey. I love that. I think he's so, I mean, you heard him. He's terrible with pop culture. And then he took the World War II online course. Good God. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely did. Always a pleasure to talk with Sid on this show.